¿Qué pasa, mi raza?
Let's go.
Welcome to Los Fantasy Cuz, the boldest and hottest Latino sports podcast, powered by the voices and opinions of three cuz. And every week, we'll bring you the realest takes, some bold predictions, and the latest sports buzz. Whether it's football, gringo football, baseball, or cualquier deporte, we're here to keep it real, keep it caliente, and represent the culture. My name is Fabian, and joining me as always are my compas, my co-hosts, my cuz, Rob, and Eric. What's up, guys?
What up, guys?
What up, everybody?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
today we're
here.
gonna, we're here. We're gonna go over a little bit today of the UEFA Nations League, the CONCACAF Nations League. You know, we got a lot to talk about. So, and then we're also gonna touch up on some of MLB's AL and NL East. And of course, we're gonna go over our Mexican of the week, Fresa of the week, and then also we're gonna go over, the Mount Rushmore of Mexican food. So,
Mexican food. That's gonna be a fun one.
yeah. I know the rankings are going to be. There's a lot of food to talk about, so before I get hungry, let's go into the UEFA Nations League, Eric. So, I know there was a good matchups in there. Let's we can first touch up on one of maybe the not as exciting one. Let's talk about Portugal versus Denmark.
Shit, I'm the opposite. I thought that was hell exciting.
I mean, there's a lot of goals. I mean, goals are
Yeah,
excitement, but I'm talking about once we want to see somebody like finishing like a close game, is what I'm saying.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was exciting for sure. I mean, Portugal with we in the last podcast I think that we had some guys going leaning Denmark, but I thought Portugal at the end should have won the game and they did. Um,
Well,
at the end, the score line is a little misleading, but it was a closer game than expected. But yeah, the scoreline makes it look like it was a walk in the park for Portugal, but it really wasn't. It was really they battled it out, and the guys who needed to come up for Portugal came up. So I mean, at one point, fucking Ronaldo was almost ruining it when he missed that PK, but
yep.
he
That's what I
came
was
back
trying to
later,
say.
and the Viejito got a goal. So we'll see what they do in the next round.
You don't think, Eric, that he was pissed off after seeing Hoyland's celebration in the last game?
Probably.
Yeah, I mean that he's paying respects, but when you're doing it to your
Uh,
legend, right? When they're losing, you don't do that.
well, look what happens now. Look what happens now. You get your butt kicked 5-2.
I mean, they both showed out. I mean, it was 5-2 this last one, but it went into
Yeah.
extra time still.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah. So I mean, Denmark's still a solid team. They have a good, like you said, they have a good squad on them as well. Good attack, but for them to come up and make it extra time,
yeah, yeah.
that was
Ericsson
solid.
scored. Our guy for Manchester United, Ericsson scored in that game too. So it just gives more momentum. So when he goes back to Manchester United, it gives that he can continue that momentum.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, the scoreline is misleading. I still think Portugal is handicapped to Ronaldo. I think they're still playing like a style that is just super direct and it's just Ronaldo based, and they put themselves in situations and holes like they did in the first leg of this. And if you really think about it, besides the Ronaldo goal, I mean, in the missed PK, I mean, it's everyone else who's coming up in the ranks that really got this game done for them.
That's
I
true.
mean,
That's so
that
true.
that tap and goal that he had is a shot that it was an amazing save, a shot from Bruno off the post, and Ronaldo just kind of cleans it up.
Yeah.
But like I said, those other guys, I mean, Francisco Trincao, 2 goals.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Gonzalo,
Ramos has been in
Ramos.
really good
yeah,
form throughout the
Gonzalo Ramos,
Champions
yeah.
League as well.
So he's the guy
Exactly.
kind of coming up that I think is that guy that they really need to start focusing on up top and giving him confidence. Like I said, but I think as good as as good as Ronaldo was, and we all know he's up there, top three for sure ever. But it's to a point now where Portugal is still being handicapped and they're still lacking and they're still getting, they can't grow as a team in terms of play style because it's still just kind of like, let's get it to our man and let's get it to our man.
Oh man, I know it's hard to move on from a legend like that, but still, I get what you're saying when you're like so dependent on one player. you basically are hindering some of the team's ability to move forward. So
Yeah, I
I
mean,
agree with that.
you look at now. I mean, I know we're not going to touch up too much on CONMEBOL, on the World Cup qualifiers for them, but Argentina, doesn't even call up Messi right now. So it's like at least they're trying to move away in a sense. They'll probably call him up for the World Cup. I want to assume, but at least now you can tell they're looking at a plan after him.
I
Exactly.
mean, well, let's hold off. This is more of like a Nations League Cup. They're still going for a cup here. The other one is a World Cup qualifier. So I
Hmm.
wouldn't really put them on the same spectrum of why maybe Cristiano has to come in and actually show out. Like they're gonna have to focus the game on him more. They're going for a cup, which we always know that's a bigger platform than going. I know World Cup qualifying's over a longer games. So when you're playing for a cup, that's maybe why they still have that plan, or they're being more aggressive with Cristiano.
Of
Hmm.
course, he's gonna want more trophies and championships because he's not. He has to like show that he's better than Messi because he's not gonna get a World Cup, so he's gonna try to win as many other tournaments as possible. That's just what it is.
Yeah, the team kind of like you said, it's not going to get to its full potential. With are they really going to have him at the World Cup? So we'll see. But that for them, they actually move forward. So you'll have to see a little bit more of Cristiano in June possibly. So
Yep.
the next one, we'll go over. Didn't have extra time, but it was Germany versus Italy. What did you think, Fabian?
So I watched this game
Hmm.
and really good game. It felt like Germany controlled the first half and Italy controlled the second half. It ended up being a 3-3, but aggregate was 5-4, where it went to Germany. Because in the game before, in the first leg, Germany won 2-1. So with that second goal that they scored in the first leg was crucial for them to get this win. You know, this time, even though they tied 3-3, aggregate was still 5-4. Did you see that Musiala goal, Rob? The
Yeah,
second
man.
one.
Donnarumma, bro, like every time he makes these big mistakes in these crucial games, you
It
know?
felt like he was
But is
complaining
the
to his
whole
defense.
Donnarumma thing though? Because honestly, to me, it's a team thing. You don't turn off ever. You go back to Barca Liverpool when the
Exactly.
whole team Barca turns off in that big comeback from Liverpool. It's like even if your goalie is there, like as a team, you don't turn off in those moments.
Because you could
Yeah.
see some of the defenders kind of looking away from the corner kick too, because Donnarumma was like complaining to them, and then Musiala was like, "Hurry, hurry, hurry, hurry!" and then he just crossed it, tap.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were all kind of complaining. Like you said, they all kind of it was a brain lapse at the wrong time because that one goal right there is just makes up that 2-0 or that aggregate. So, a huge
Exactly.
mistake. What I saw
Huge.
from this game, I don't know if you saw how good Kimmich played.
Yeah.
He created a lot of opportunities. Even he caught them off guard in that play. So he had a lot of good plays to create
No.
opportunities.
Kimmich was the man of the match, I think, in this one. Here's a
Goretzka too. I like
Goretzka.
Goretzka how he made some good passes and he was smart on the midfield.
Exactly. Italy had that one number 9, I forget his name, that scored 2 goals in this game. Eric, do you know who I'm talking about?
Moises
Moist.
Kean. Yeah.
It, he has a really good shot too. If you give him time and space where he could shoot a rocket, I think his first goal was like that on the ground. Like like Italy has some good players too. Like I said, here's a crazy stat, Rob. In this
Hmm.
game, Germany had 22 shots and 8 were on target, compared to Italy had 9 shots and only 3 were on target. So those 3 shots on target ended up being the 3 goals.
Yeah.
When you're a team like that, dude, like sometimes the more chances you create, the more shots you take, the more you have opportunities to score. So
Yeah.
Italy had to play better. Had to play
Yeah. If you,
better.
for me, I know Italy's been a team that, like I said, over the last few years, they're disappointing, but they'll always have that where they play you tough. Moises Kean, not he's having his best year moving from Juventus, so playing for Fiorentina now. This is the best he's looked for them for just as a professional.
That's
So
what a
that,
lot of people were saying too.
so let's hope that Italy has some potential forwards or attacking moving forward because they do have a nice little midfield and defense always. So
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah.
now Germany's going to be playing Portugal in semis now. So
Oh, yep.
there's
We'll
those
talk
two are
about
going to
that.
meet up. Yep. What's the next game you guys want to get into?
Well, the France versus Croatia. What do you think, Eric? How was that?
Yeah, I thought it was a really good game. I thought France. I had mentioned in the last podcast that I thought if it went to PKs, Croatia was going to win it. Just I thought because of like the moments they've had in the past World Cups where they've come through in those big moments. But France at the end got it done, and France should have gotten done. Honestly, the team they have and the youth on there compared to Croatia's, you know, lack of youth and lack of
Exactly.
talent ever since those past two World Cups. Like they did what they needed to do. So it's not really a big surprise. I'm almost surprised it had to go to PKs for France to get it done. Honestly,
It's because their squad, dude. They have a
yeah.
freaking squad.
I mean, it honestly just shows Croatia like still how fucking good they are. Like they took this youth France team, they had them up first of all up 2-0, and they still took them all the way to PKs. I mean, it's just Croatia, man. They're warriors.
Bro, I'll let you know. For the first game, they did allow that penalty that they missed in the 6 minute or something. That was that's those things, you leave those goals off the table. That hinders you from getting to that next round. So, I know Mbappe and Dembele both games had a lot of opportunities that they missed, but in my case, where I saw that game, that it was a lot of basically for me. I like Livakovic, the Croatian goalkeeper. I don't know, he played solid both games, so for them to hold him to those two goals, there was a lot of opportunities there.
Mm-hmm.
Rob, didn't you think it was interesting that Dembele didn't take a PK?
Yeah, in the form he's in. But like you said, all the killers that they got on their team, they could just at that point allow them to you know whoever pick and choose at that point. Do
Yeah,
they sub
yeah.
out for him?
I don't think so,
Let me check.
cause
Yeah, he
he's
came out.
Yeah,
that's probably why.
they checked out for him for Kolomoani, but
Colomwani,
uh,
yep.
yeah, no, bro, I'm telling you the whole time with this team for France, they're dangerous. Even though they're kind of a letdown at times. They don't play all the time for their full potential, but I like their team. Like you said, Barcola, Olise, they all solid guys.
I
So
agree. I agree.
yeah, so that one was ends off in penalties. That was 5-4, based on, and then France took that one, so they advance on that one.
Good
Mm-hmm.
game. Good game.
Good game. The next one was probably one of the most exciting ones too. Was Spain versus Netherlands.
Yep.
So Eric, what do you end up checking that one out?
Yeah, man, I think that was the game of the tournament so far.
Yeah,
Um, like I had mentioned too in the last one, Netherlands is building something, and they're not a team to be taken, lightly. Spain are the reigning champs from the last Euro. They have a really good squad coming up. The youth, they're almost like they remind me of France in that aspect. They took it to PKs, and besides a missed PK from Lamine, I mean he's
Yep.
the guy who got this. I think he put that team on his back, and he's the one who's leading the way right now.
They almost could have won in overtime because Lamine scored in like the 103rd minute or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. So
yeah.
he almost won it for Spain.
You could say Oyarzabal is the one that actually had the two goals. He had the better performance over the both
Mhm.
legs, but
Mm-hmm.
I know you're a meat writer like that, Eric. So I know you're going to be on
He can
him
score
all
all
about.
he wants, but the impact that fool has on the team is what matters.
No, I know. I was impressed with Yamal. He has even the first game, how he created that error and they made the first goal. Um, at that point, he's the one that's one of the best players in all of Europe. So yeah, he ended up scoring the 96, but he missed the penalty.
Missed the
Um,
PK. Yep.
yeah, out of all of them, I know
This,
Yamal. Yeah, Yamal missed that one, but Pedri, another Barca boy, Pedri actually finished the last one and actually moved him on to the next
yep.
round. So
Yep.
Yep.
yeah.
These are the type of games where I think the average soccer fan loves to see because it was 1-1, 2-1, 2-2, 3-2, and then 3-3 because you thought, at the end that Spain was going to win it, but then a penalty right at the end for Netherlands made it 3-3. So really good game that like we wish we could have, almost all the games like this one, but whenever we get games like these, we love to see it.
I agree. I mean, to be 5-5 on aggregate, those are the ones that you want.
Exactly. So now Now the two semis. What do you guys think?
We have until June to analyze it, but the first one is what if you want to let us know.
Yeah, Germany, Portugal is the first one, and then the second one that I think is going to be way better is Spain versus France.
Yep.
Oh man, and is it two legs, right? Oh man,
I think it is. I think it is a two-leg, that one. But it's all the way in June, dude. We have to wait
yeah.
2.5 months.
Yeah, right now we'll give an early predict. I mean, the France and Spain. I'll say Spain is probably the hottest team in all of Europe or all the world. I'll put them ahead of France because France doesn't always play to their full potential. And then right now I'll just say Germany. Germany ends up beating Portugal,
I
even
think
though I like Portugal's
Germany's
midfield.
going to kill Portugal, I think.
Yeah. And I think looking at the way it's scheduled, I think it's just a one leg. Because so they'll play June 4th and 5th, and then the final will be June 8th. So that's not enough time for them
You're
to
right.
play
Have two
twice. So I
legs.
think it's just a one leg.
Oh
That's
well,
crazy.
I still stand on what I said.
Yep.
I'll take Germany, and then I'll take Spain.
Yeah, and I think Germany's going to kill Portugal just because the way Portugal has been playing too. But I'll give the other one where I think France will beat Spain in that game. France has a squad, dude. They just have too much of a good squad.
What do you think, Eric?
I'm with Rob. I think it's going to be Germany, Spain.
Either way, that would be a great final too.
Yeah,
Germany versus
either way we get it. There's great final.
Yeah. Even if Portugal goes through, like that's going to be a hell of a final against whoever. So
Oh man, people are gonna be talking if Portugal makes it to the final.
I see it almost like impossible for Portugal, but you never know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you still call up those guys like Ronaldo, even at their 40-year-olds, because at the end of the day, they can always get something there that, little toe poke, PK, something.
You're right, or the dive.
Hey, Chicharito made a career off that, all right? So we don't hate on the toe pokes, all right?
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. All right, so next we'll go into the CONCACAF Nations League. So
Heck yeah.
yeah, that one was we got a lot to talk about, a lot to celebrate.
I mean,
Eric and I, we just shout out to Milagros right there in Colorado Springs, by the way.
Yep, thank you.
Eric hosted me, and we ended up because I'm in Denver for a couple of weeks, and I ended up coming out to watch the game with him, and he hosted me. So anyone who's out in that area, definitely recommend it. But let's go over that one, Fabian. What do you think about we'll go over the whole just the tournament, or do you want to just go into the fourth place game?
Not the fourth place. You mean the Canada versus USA game, third place?
Oh, I guess. Well, I just was trying to.
Yeah, let's go into that one first.
Don't give them that satisfaction, Rob. They didn't get fourth place. They didn't get shit.
Yeah, they shouldn't have showed up.
Dude, the fans didn't even show up. That's the first thing I was gonna say. The fans didn't even show up to watch that game. It was crazy.
For being a golden generation, they have literally like one of the worst fan bases.
They still don't understand football,
I guess not.
I think it should be thrown through.
I was hearing some. I don't know if it was rumors or something, but some of the guys, the commentators and analysts, were saying on the first game, Canada versus USA, that there was a lack of fans potentially because of the time, and all these guys are saying is like, you put a Mexico game any day of the week at any time of the week, it's gonna be sold out. So there's no excuses for that.
You mean the USA versus Panama game?
Yeah, that one.
That one, yeah. But even still, in this USA versus Canada game, it was the same thing. They kind of made the time a little bit later. I think the game was at like 5:00 Pacific time, and it was still the same amount of people. Like, it just like people. I think the fans know too that the U.S. national team is like super mediocre, super mid.
I mean, it's tough to say mediocre because I'm a hater on Team USA. I'm not gonna lie. I'm always Team Mexico. I'm a hater, but they have all these guys performing in the Serie A. They've got all the like McKinney, Pulisic. Like they have guys that are performing, But I don't know why they don't put it together in these like. Well, maybe because like you're saying, the fans don't come out. They're not. I don't know what it is, but even Landon Donovan. had to
I was
come
just
out
gonna
and
say that.
had to come out and criticize him pretty bad, you know. So
Do you guys remember what Landon Donovan said? Because it was pretty spicy too. What he said.
yeah, tell us what caliente thing he said.
Do you remember, Eric? Because I don't remember exactly what he said.
I could probably pull up the tweet, but I don't. But it was
Yeah,
just something along the lines of they're just a generation that doesn't like take advantage of what they're being like
uh,
gifted at
he
this
says,
day and age.
yeah, this is Landon Donovan's quote. I'm so sick of hearing talented. This group of players is and all the amazing clubs they play for. If you aren't going to show up and actually give a shit about playing for your national team, decline the invite. Talent
Yep.
is great, pride is better.
Which, to contrast what he said, us Mexicans have a lot of pride. So
Hmm.
it doesn't matter who's in the starting 11. Most 99% of the time, they're going to play their butt off with pride. Whereas these USA guys showed no pride, no ganas.
It's just like I do think it's mediocre because the amount of things that this new team has access to in terms of just technology and the facilities that they have, like the way they have access to all this like world class stuff compared to the times of Landon Donovan, DeMarcus Beasley, Altidore, Dempsey, when they were just like on the rise of U.S. soccer. So it was like it wasn't even a sport that was shown much importance as it is now, because
Yeah.
especially now we're having a World Cup here.
Yep.
I would take that team of Landon Donovan, even though I hate that motherfucker.
Yep.
I would take that team to kick these little boys' ass, because these guys have no fucking. They don't have any passion, no huevos, nothing. And at least those Donovan guys, like they weren't talented,
Yep.
but man, would they put in a shift, bro?
They were
They were
tough, bro. They were tough.
They
they
had
would
no
play
fear.
Mexico.
No fear to any fucking team, even in the World Cups, even to
True.
Mexico. Like those guys showed no fear. Like sometimes they'd get their asses kicked by Mexico, but like it was never. You never had to doubt whether they put in a good shift and everyone worked their ass off.
They
Yep.
showed more pride than the guys that are playing now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Maybe it's because they are getting all this treatment, all this now with all this money. Maybe they're like just spoiled to it. That's the new generation. But
That
yeah,
needs
I
to
mean,
change. That needs to
yeah,
change, and
Yeah.
a lot of U.S. commentators are like speaking out about this because they obviously they see this problem. So
Well,
they
I see it more because, like I said, it's this constant like this generation is the best generation of U.S. soccer. So these guys are sitting here like, well, what the fuck have they accomplished?
bro.
nothing yet.
And they've had some great coaches come in the last few times as well. Jurgen Klinsmann,
Kingsman.
they had Pochettino right now. So
Mm.
they have all these great coaches, all this great money influxed into the program. It's like, when are they going to turn it around? But
Yeah.
another team that disappointed. I mean, if you guys have any points else
Mm.
to bring on here, I don't know if you want to talk about anything else here. But I was going to say Canada has been a huge disappointment. That's what a lot of people were upset about with the Canadian
At,
Federation as well.
at first, when they played Mexico during the week, I was talking in the group chat too. Like Canada called up a lot of European guys too,
Yeah,
and for them to, you know, kind of, I expected more of them when they played Mexico. Mexico ended up beating them what 2-1,
2-0, 2-0,
2-0.
2-1.
Actually,
2-1. Yeah, 2-1.
I expected more out of Canada still because of all the guys that they have too, and actually they what I wanted to see from them they showed it against the
Oh no,
U.S.
2-0. My bad, guys. 2-0.
Yeah, 2-0. So the way Canada played against the U.S. is kind of how I expected them to play against Mexico. So that still gives me like a little bit better expectations that they met for me compared to the U.S.
I know with Canada how they even played against Mexico. I felt that they played Mexico good with
Mm,
the way they pressured. They had good opportunities, but it's just Mexico. I think that's the way Mexico wanted to play that game. They scored early, and then
yep.
they have the big nines that just to send the ball forward to.
If
Yeah,
you
I
go
think
back,
definitely Canada's definitely plateaued, because from those last World Cup qualifiers where Mexico was struggling to qualify, like that, I think that's been like the highest this Canada team has been, and it's not, I don't think they've kind of lowered. I just think they've kind of they went so high to the point where like now any performance that we see that isn't like that, it just we kind of expect them now to kind of be up there.
yeah, if you go back to our YouTube channel and go back to, I don't remember what time, but you could see Eric and all of us celebrating the second goal for Mexico.
Yeah,
Oh,
Jimenez free kick.
Yeah.
bro, that was. I mean, it wasn't a good wall, but at that point, Santi had the opportunity to kick it or Raúl Jimenez, so I could see why the wall didn't move wherever. But dude, Jimenez has been. Oh man, I love it. But so I mean, if you guys want to go into that one, I know I like some of the Canada players. I know Jonathan David. Obviously Alphonso Davies. He was maybe going to be in Madrid, but I think he's going to stay uh, with Bayern. So
Yeah, they got a young center back. His name is Moise Bombito, who was actually
oh yeah,
Rapids drafted him in the college super draft, and then they sold him to, I believe it's Lille.
yeah,
In the so he's another like youngster that is going to be a bright future for Canada.
yeah. Lille has usually some of these prospects or something from this teams, but
Yeah,
Lille's a farmer team too. That's why.
oh really? Yeah, there's some. I know a lot of these teams have connections and all that, but
Yeah.
yeah.
um, let's go into the one to celebrate, baby. Let's go,
Well,
Mexico,
yeah.
baby.
Mexico versus Panama. I mean, Panama
Oof.
gave us a fight though, dude.
I mean,
It was 1-1 like most of the second half until the very end where that one defender like obviously stuck out his hand and
I don't know what the fuck
qué
that was doing.
pendejo, güey, qué pendejo, el güey.
Not even in Sunday League that you do make a mistake like that.
nope. Because if it were to happen in my Sunday League team, I would have been so pissed. I would have been like, get the fuck out.
Oh man.
No, I don't think Sunday League players would be that athletic to even get the arm out while like falling and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tell me a Sunday league that you have VAR, I guess, but I guess that's the only way that you get to find out. But those don't get caught all the time on Sunday league.
That's true.
No, but hey, what do you? I'll go into a little bit about that 2-1 game. I know for Raúl, we scored early. I know with Jimenez, he's just been hot, and then at the end of the first half, we couldn't close it off right. They ended up getting that penalty on us. So, but for the most part, I was happy with the goalkeeper and everything. I know the coach made some adjustments over the two legs, so I know switching Edson Alvarez from center back to midfield. So.
Did you guys see what Thierry Henry said like after the game?
No, what did he say?
He doesn't have a lot of confidence in Malagon. He said that the Mexican goalkeeper, doesn't look that good, and Thierry Henry thinks that that Mexico should be considering another goalkeeper because Malagon tends to have some like really bad mistakes. But
He just kind of like he reminds me of Ochoa, where it's like he bobbles the ball a lot on some of these saves, and it's like a high quality team. Like in terms of in the World Cup against Germany, Spain, those guys are gonna pounce on those opportunities.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't think the goalkeeper conversation is as closed as Televisa made it seem, because that's Televisa's goalkeeper, so they're gonna push for that narrative of Malagon. But I don't think, and I think Aguirre knows, but I don't think it's as closed as everyone thinks. I think Malagon needs to keep his form because Tala is right there.
I think so too.
Good insight. I know for you, you guys have a little bit more inside tracks on that. So
Yeah, just to touch up on that first goal, really good assist from nuestro Piojo Alvarez. Piojo, yeah.
So what do you guys think as far as are we like seeing a team that's able to finally compete at at the highest levels, or are we just kind of gonna go back to it?
Fuck, I fucked up. Piojo Alvarado.
Yeah.
He busted a Fabian.
So first,
man.
I had it messed up like that. Everyone had a slip up, and now I finally slipped up.
Oh man.
Rob, going back to your point too, like I saw another like show where they were talking about it was like Fútbol Picante or something like that, where they were talking like, is Mexico back to being El Gigante de America, like back how back then we used to back like when I was young, every commentator would say Mexico es el gigante de CONCACAF, and I don't think they're the gigante of CONCACAF right now still, just because they won this tournament and just because players are starting to show some more pride and stuff, doesn't mean that they're back to being the gigante. There's this one analyst that I like that he said, and the definition of a gigante means you win every single Copa de Oro, you win every single CONCACAF Nations League, you win every single Copa America. That's what a gigante is.
I mean, there's really not many gigantes out there right now. I mean, when you're bringing now the talent of Canada and you bring USA, it is tough to be the gigante that we probably
Yep,
used to be.
exactly.
But I would still take it. It's any. I know as far as disappointment down the road, sometimes we all want to see a World Cup, but for the most part, this is always good to win finals. So
It
I'll take it,
definitely.
especially with the good form. I
Yeah.
know I like the 2-9s that we had. I know
True.
Eric, we talked about it yesterday. We like the 2-9s. We haven't had that in a while. So to have that, to have somebody that's always going to win those long balls and all that, Raul
Well,
Jimenez.
we got to see
Yeah.
that consistency, though.
Yeah, I mean, touch up on Fabian's question. I think for me, two things. I like Aguirre in his press conference saying that we won but didn't play well. Also, that shows that Aguirre, like his mind and what he sees in his maturity. Also, yeah, we won, and but at times, like he said, we didn't play good. So I like hearing that from him because like at least I know as a fan, I'm not crazy when I'm like, yeah, we won, but there were still some moments where I'm like, what the fuck are these guys doing?
Exactly.
And I think a little insight on the whole, are we like the gigante again? I think there's a thing when we're creeping up on the World Cup and there's these little tournaments where it's like these players self-consciously, mentally start like getting into that, like, I got to start playing my best because I want to be on that roster. You take this team right after World Cup and we're 4 years out. I don't know if they even perform like this. That's the thing about the Mexican players. Like, it's all about in what moment and what's going on and what's coming up. If they know there's a World Cup 4 years away, maybe they don't put as much importance to it, and that's one of the big issues with Mexican players and their mentality. But I think this one and then the Gold Cup coming up, I think Mexico is a heavy favorite and they should win it. But like I said, all these players are on a little high of like the World Cup's coming up. I want to make that roster. I don't want to be let out. So obviously, all these guys se van a estar partiendo la madre.
Yeah. Hey,
So I
well,
think
we
you
want
just
that.
can't take this performance and kind of be like, we're back. Like, in a sense, it's good to see them performing, but they're performing at the same time because they have that pressure that the World Cup is coming up.
Exactly.
I mean, we don't have the pressure of qualifying since we automatically qualify, but we have to show that our continent is actually doing well. So I really hope that we get past one of the elimination games, but I'm a little hopeful with some of the youth that we have. We still have, like you said, Santi, Jimenez. As long as we have those 2-9s in great form, we just have to shore up and send them out, send them forward. So maybe hold back our back line.
Consistency, Rob. I want to see this lineup again in the next
Hmm.
game, so I could start seeing some consistency.
I do have one comment. I did like seeing Eric Lira in that midfield, and I like seeing Edson in that center back position. To me, Edson has always been a center back because that's what he was. Cuando él debutó en América, he was a center back, and I don't know who did, but someone made him into a midfielder, and I
They
like
moved him back.
Edson.
They moved him back to midfield yesterday, though. So,
No,
but I
but
did
what
like the
I'm saying
first
is
game.
that
Yeah,
traditionally, when he first came up, like when he was coming up through the youth system with America, he debuted and always played as a center back with Piojo. And then I don't know who after that decided to move him up, but there's something about him that I still he lacks a little bit of swagger and tenacity as a midfielder because if you look at him, he plays kind of stiff sometimes and very like one directional. He doesn't have the savviness of like a little Eric Lira coming in and a little flick here. He can get out of shit a little bit more crafty. And I just think I'd like to see Eric Lira get a little bit more opportunity in that midfield.
yeah. I saw the first game, like I mentioned. Even I liked that Alvarez was at the center back because he made some good little passes. Maybe he doesn't stand out as the midfielder, but when he makes those passes as a center back, that makes him like that much better as a
Of
center
course,
back.
because I think he's the best defender on the team. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like I think as a whole, he defends the best out of anyone on that team. So it's like to me, it's like, dude, the only thing I want you doing is defending, and it's a plus that he can pass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I'd take
I
that.
would argue Johan Vasquez, but both of them together also I could see.
Even like I said, honestly, but I still think as if I need a 50-50 tackle 1v1, I'm taking Alvarez still.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I could see that. Because watch him, Rob. If you should watch him a little bit how he plays in West Ham, like that's what Eric is kind of talking about too, where he's only like one dimensional, and
Yeah.
when the opposite team is actually attacking him, I see so many players from the opposite team just take him on and they beat him really easily.
Not so much that, but it's out of the build-up play more. I think when you build out with him, he just he lacks just having a little bit of more skill in that midfield of like if you pass it to him and he sees I got my left back, that's where he's going. Boom. But you get another midfielder where before he gets the ball, he knows he's got 3-4 other options. You know what I mean? I think he's just a little bit he lacks that because like I said, him naturally coming up, he was always a center back, so you're always gonna lack a little bit of that creativity.
Yeah.
We'll see
good
then.
Points. Those are good points, though.
It is.
I know. Well, that'll kind of leave us into the next segment, unless you guys have anything to talk about.
No, I mean we'll just wait, like I said, for the next Mexican game, and we'll be talking about it here on the pod. So
Yeah,
we'll be ready.
We'll dive into it.
It's always good that Mexico wins. If we ended off with that, it's always good that Mexico is winning tournaments.
Yeah, Eric and I celebrated with a shot, as we should,
Nice.
But, yeah, hell yeah. So the next one was, I know there's a good game tomorrow, but we won't really touch up on the World Cup qualifying, but the CONMEBOL, we have Argentina versus Brazil tomorrow. So I'm excited to watch that game.
Yeah. Argentina, I think, clinches their World Cup spot if they can at least tie.
Oh, okay.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah, so they just need to get a point out of this, and I think they clinched their spot, so they're in a good position.
You guys saw last game how I don't know if you saw Fabian or Eric, but how the goal, Rafinha and everybody stepped in so Vinny doesn't get a yellow card, so that he could play against Argentina. Like he was almost like he was getting sent off the game, like they were subbing him off the game, and he was basically fighting so that he doesn't. Rafinha stepped in so he doesn't get a yellow card to keep complaining to the refs, so that he would be suspended for the next game. It would be against Brazil, or Brazil against Argentina. So that's
he was bitching at the refs.
Yeah. I know it's not something new, but I really want him to mature in that aspect.
I was legit asking, like, is that what he was doing?
I mean, yes. I was just trying to say that I want him to mature in that aspect that he needs to just cool off. There's nothing that he's gonna get. It's not gonna help him more to bitch at the refs. So.
Yeah.
No, I didn't see that. So Rafinha kind of like calmed him down, or did Rafinha
Rafinha pulled his ass away. Like he literally was like, "Hey, bro, we need you for the next game, fool.
I see.
Like get your ass away before you get a yellow card and you're out." So
that's kind of like when on Sunday with my cousin Carlos, he was our goalie, and he would always be talking crap to the ref, and that's me. I'm Rafinha. I'd be like pulling. Carlos is a big guy too, right? Have you seen him, Rob?
A little
taquita,
right?
So I'm like, bro, get the hell over here. I'm like, get the hell over here.
As a goalkeeper, you gotta love that they get involved like that. That they're freaking trying to get a yellow. They're trying to get on the scorecard with the yellow or something.
The foul is like on the opposite end, like in the 18, and the goalie's on the other end, and he comes running, and I'm like, what the fuck? You get the fuck back, bro.
Hey, my boy Carlos. Hey, he could handle it. So hey, whatever he's got to do, I believe it. I trust him.
Shout out to Carlos. He'll be excited to hear that we shouted him out.
And
will he be happy that I called him a tanquecito or what?
I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll find out.
Isn't his nickname El Terremoto?
El Terremoto.
Yeah. So he brings in some of that.
There's always one player on every team like that, Rob.
Yeah. I love the grittiness. You need one of those guys to win a championship. So If he was on your team, you might have won some, but that'll wrap up a little bit of the. I know tomorrow I'm excited to watch that game. But talking a little bit about baseball right now, going over the last divisions that we have to go over is the NL East and the AL East. So those are the toughest divisions in baseball. Some of the toughest divisions, in baseball, what I would say. Um,
I think Rob, we should get into the NL East first then.
yeah.
And you know
So
why?
let me know.
Supposedly, what I've done my research on is that a lot of people consider this the best division in baseball. What do you think about that?
They technically are. I would give them with because they have the Braves, they have the Phillies, now they have the Mets spending all this money.
That's the
Uh,
Nationals and the Marlins.
and you know what I will say, the Nationals are a young team that even though they're in a very tough division, they're not going to be easy to win against. So I wouldn't just say they're like the Marlins. The Marlins are going to go for another 100-loss season, I would say.
I think they're close to the Rockies in that sense, but from doing a little bit of my research, some people are saying they're about 5 games better than the Rockies. So they shouldn't be getting last place. They should be like right above the Rockies, though, in that sense.
I don't know, man. At that point, I would say that the Marlins didn't make any moves. They are getting a pitcher back that they lost from Tommy John before,
Mm, mm,
which he's one of the best pitchers in baseball. I
mm.
still don't. They don't make any moves. They literally will try to spend as least amount as possible. So they're gonna, for my prediction, they're gonna be the last place in that division, easy.
Yeah,
There's no
yeah.
anyone wants to call that one. That one's the easiest
Yeah,
one to
exactly.
call.
It's for them to end up in last because I saw that last year they only won 62 games. And this year they're projected to win 63.
Oh man, yeah, they're
Hella
not.
funny.
That's basically 100 games again lost.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, so last year, I mean, I know with the Nationals, they have a couple young players that are pretty solid. So they'll have Dylan Cruz. They'll have the shortstop that's pretty good. They also have James Wood, who's a big first baseman. So I like their team. They also had Mackenzie Gore, a lot
Okay.
of good guys that they end up like they essentially are a young team that if they continue to progress, maybe we'll talk about them in a couple years. But I still say that they have enough talent to
I I
compete.
I have them at only like winning this division at 30%, a 30% chance of them winning this division. They're projected to win maybe 70 games this season. And like you were saying, they have a good pitching staff, but an average bullpen. So, Len
Hmm.
going along with the young roster, I don't expect them to be in last place, but I don't also expect them to be second or first.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know what you think, Eric, but
I mean, I think expectation wise, I think the ones who should win this is the team who made the biggest move, and I think that's the Mets.
we'll talk about them too. But
That's a
I
hot
don't.
take.
That's a hot take because I would not put them. That does not put them over the top yet. There are some. They are spending the money. I will say
Hmm.
they picked up Juan
The
Soto for.
the biggest name right now of like the free agency and stuff.
Yeah, but I think he's a 26-year-old that looks 40. He's like Albert Pujols before. I don't know if you guys remember, like,
Yep.
well, they got to start checking some of these Dominicans on their birth certificates
Yeah.
because it's been known for them to come out and have like brothers with the same last names. I'm saying a lot of stuff that I probably shouldn't say, but
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
in those cultures they're known to like kind of like lose some birth certificates. So Juan Soto's 26, but he's maybe like
Looking,
46,
but
And,
that
and
still doesn't take away Rob from how good he is.
I mean, as you're supposed to be 26, but you're really older than that. I mean, he's been a solid hitter always. I know jokes aside, I respect him as a baseball player. He's a really good baseball player that's going to turn around the franchise a little bit more. They have Francisco Lindor, so they'll have
Mm,
him. They'll have the third baseman the last year against the Dodgers in the playoffs.
yeah.
He actually played really well. So I mean, I like their team. I'm not. I just don't put them on top yet because they have to play the games. maybe with Cody Senga and some of these other guys, probably
They
having
got
a healthy season.
they
I'll
got
start.
Jose Siri, they got Griffin Canning. They're also going to retain Pete Alonso, where I think Juan Soto and Pete Alonso. Do you know if in the batting rotation, like if Juan Soto would be like second or third, and then Pete Alonso will be right behind him, or is it reversed?
You would probably so what it has been like something that analytics in baseball has been happening is they want to have your best hitter second because
Mm,
that's when they come around the most. That's one of the most ones that comes around.
exactly.
Um, with Soto, I would put him Soto at second, but I would put that Mark Vientos guy. I would put him third over Polar Bear. They call him Polar Bear basically, by the way.
Oh,
But I would
gotcha.
put him fourth. I would put him fourth because he strikes out a lot. I like Vientos. I like his the contact he puts in. He's got power. So that team is solid, but I would still have them at third. They'll have to have some of the pitching. I know with Clay Holmes they picked up as well.
Yes, yes, I saw
Yeah,
that.
and then this time they have Edwin Diaz. So let's make sure he doesn't get injured again. I know he had like a scary little injury last time. I think celebrating or something,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
he injured his whole year. So.
I have the Mets at like a 56% chance of making the playoffs. So
I
that's
agree.
about right. The
Eric thinks they're going to be first, so that's Eric's
We'll
first
see. I
number
mean,
one. They
crazy
could.
hot take right there.
I mean,
The
making
team.
the moves and spending the money. I think that's what I'm saying. Expectation wise, if they're going to be spending that, like you expect them to be competing. So
That's true.
Yeah, they're putting the money because then they have to compete against these top two teams, is the Braves and the Phillies. So I'm still debating. What do you think, Fabian? What did you think?
I think the Braves are going to stay in first place. They also retained a lot of their guys. Ronald Acuna Jr. They got Austin Riley now, which is considered to be like this season maybe candidate for like MVP. Matt Olson is a really good home run hitter. Um, the Braves have coming off a really good season last season, so I feel like the Braves have the edge over Philly.
So Braves actually are correct. Sorry to correct you, but
Mhm.
the Phillies actually got first place last year.
Gotcha.
So what happened last year is Acuna actually got hurt. Ended up hurting his ACL, so he was out for the basically a huge portion at the end. That's what hopefully he'll pull back this year.
Hmm.
Is they actually had some big injuries. They had Spencer Strider, their best pitcher. He went down last year, so he's gonna come back this year. Why I give them like that? They'll still be in second, or
Hmm.
well, I'm still debating. I don't know who to put on top, but
Yeah.
um, it's
So
going
you're
to be between
saying
between the Phillies or the Braves. But
if the Braves keep their most of their guys healthy this year, then they have a really good chance.
I think they're going to be the number one. But up until then, right now, I'm like tough to like put them there because they do have Acuna coming back, I believe in May, and then Spencer Strider. He's like literally was going to be the the Cy Young next last year,
Hmm.
but then he got hurt. So
No,
um,
no. So you're going back to the point you were saying. You're right. Philly got 95 wins last season, so
mhm.
that's good enough to win. First in any division almost. So
Yeah,
the argument I think that you and I could make too why Philly could beat the Braves is a lot of their core guys are like really high up there in age. The average is like 33 years old. Bryce Harper and some of these other guys that I don't know too well, but that they have some kind of veterans on that team. But if they start clicking and they start being healthy, and they have a high ceiling. What do you think?
well, yeah, the pitching staff that they have, they always have a good pitching staff. The top two guys that they have is Aaron Nola and then also
Mm,
Zach Wheeler, and then behind them they have a good bunch of good pitching guys. But even though they are old, they have like the positions that you want to have good in baseball. Is
exactly.
always your pitchers and then your catcher. If you have a solid catcher, that controls the whole game. Is what in my opinion, is one of my favorite positions.
Yep.
But the Phillies, yeah, they are the team that can maybe when you're like you're saying their old core. maybe they take a step back and then allows the Mets to take a step up.
That
Who
could happen.
knows?
That
Who
could
knows?
happen.
But they have to stay healthy because they've made some playoff runs, that deep playoff runs. So unless they have some younger guys, like that's why I say the Braves are a little bit above the Phillies
Yep.
because they do have the younger guys that even though they lost Max Fried or whatever, they still have the guys that are in the prospects that will come up and, play well. So,
Exactly. Well, this is why it's rumored to be the best division in baseball.
yeah,
Three, three.
who's your number 1, 2 and 3 then?
For me, it'll be the Braves, then Phillies, and then the Mets, then the Nationals and Marlins at the end. What about you?
So mine will be the Braves. So I'll just make in my mind Braves. Since I was just making some of those points, I don't think the Phillies are going to be fully healthy this year, and they don't have enough prospects. So I'll put them at 3, and then the Mets moving up number 2, spending that money like Eric
Nice.
said. So I'll let Eric go. I'll let Fabian go for the next one. I know with the AL East.
The AL East, another
Yeah.
pretty tough division. I mean, they have the one team that can rival your Dodgers. The Yanks are in this division. We also got the Orioles, the Red Sox, the Blue Jays, and the Tampa Bay Rays. Where this division I feel could be pretty competitive though, because the Tampa Bay Rays are not that bad compared to like the Miami Marlins. I think they're projected to win like 77 games this season, which is better than the Marlins, for example. The only thing is like that I've been reading is that they have a weak offense right now. They lost Arena to our Mariners. Um, Pitching staff is mid, and the only guy that I see that's pretty decent on this team is this guy called um, Junior Camareno. Do you
Oh
know
yeah,
who I'm talking about?
he's Jumar Camareno. They ended up losing. I mean, that's the. I mean, it's alleged, or I don't know if we could say well, it is alleged, but they lost Wander Franco. He was talking to an underage. He
Mm-hmm.
had an underage relationship, but that he was a solid player. They ended up losing, but good. He doesn't deserve to be playing if with those allegations.
Yep.
Uh, but for the Blue Jays and the Rays, I think they're going to be battling for whoever's last place. They're all quality teams. Like at that point, I don't think the Blue Jays ended up trying to make these offers to Vladdy and all these little moves to try to keep him. But I still put them as the fourth and fifth best teams. But the Tampa Bay Rays, they don't spend a lot of money,
Mm-hmm.
but they just have a really good system of developing their players. They just trade their players before they have to pay them. So they
Ah,
always they always get good players in return, but then they don't sign their players long term. So
I got a funny stat about the Blue Jays that I didn't know. I didn't know that the Blue Jays were trying to go after Otani, Sasaki, and Juan Soto, and they didn't end up getting any of those guys. Did you know that they were going after them?
yeah, they obviously have a good core. They have good young players as well, but they have to spend the money. They have a good like organization and everything as well, but no one wants to go to play extra tax. It's in Canada.
That's the reason I think a lot of people are talking about them too. That because of in Canada their taxes went up and so it's going to affect their pay.
Imagine Soto going over there. He'll put a lost more than half of his money.
Well, going and staying on that money topic, isn't this Vladimir Guerrero's last season before his contract ends?
Yeah, so he's going to be one of the
Nice.
hottest free agents. I know the Blue Jays made a few offers to like for 500 or so $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to get a fat contract as he deserves because I know with like his dad playing in the MLB before,
Mm-hmm.
I like how he plays. He's just
He's a tank.
maybe he needs a little bit different team or somewhere else. But if he played on the Yankees, like that guy would be
Oh my
insane.
God.
But let's
Well,
not let him play on the Yankees.
no.
I've been telling the Mariners fans the Vladdy needs to play for the Mariners, okay? So
I
let's
mean,
go Mariners front office, right, Eric?
let's start putting it out there.
Yeah, let's get Vladdy to go to the Mariners. Come on, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
the team above that I think could end up in third place are the Orioles. I I only have them at like a 55% chance of making the playoffs. I read that they have a good offense. They have an okay pitching staff. They have someone called Grayson Rodriguez, Tyler
hmm
O'Neill. What do you think about those guys?
I mean, for me, I've liked their team. Like they're young. They ended up losing out on Corbin Burns. They ended up trading for him last year, which he's one of the best pitchers. They didn't go ahead and so they needed to make those moves this offseason to maybe go after the Blake Snell or Corbin Burns and or Max Fried, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where they're allowing those opportunities to slip up because they are a team that always has had that young. They have that young talent now. They have what, like I mentioned before, my favorite position is a catcher.
Mm-hmm.
They have Adley Rutschman, which is basically like the best catcher in the league. He's turned around that team because he's a winner. Once you have a leader being able to change the game of your offense and your defense,
Yeah, it's huge.
he has the biggest impact. So the fact that I still trust him to be able to get the like with a good catcher like that, he almost reduces some of the like the strain on the pitchers because of how good he is, right?
I
So
agree.
um I'll put them. I know I'll still put them as three because I do like a lot of the moves that the Red Sox made. Um,
Exactly.
but unless they make a trade in the like they'll be the team that hangs on, like they'll be right there. They'll make like a move to pick up a pitcher, which they'll have to do.
Mm.
And then we'll see how that ends up. But I still put them that they were a disappointment of the off season for sure.
Yeah, definitely. But you know what's crazy about this division too, Rob?
hmm
That the Yankees, the Orioles, and the Red Sox could potentially all three teams be like a 90 plus win season for all three. Like, do you think that's crazy?
No, I mean I think that's going to be somewhat like the either the the NL East or as well as the NL West because they have three teams right there
Hmm.
like you mentioned the Braves, the Mets, the Orioles, or Braves, the Mets and the Phillies. In the Dodgers division, you have the Padres, the Diamondbacks and then the Dodgers. So those are all
True.
same teams that like could make basically all the playoffs. So
Exactly.
um, the Orioles, they like I said, they didn't make enough moves. I think they were a disappointment of the offseason. And then number two on this, I mean I know that I like how you're breaking everything down. And number two for me is the Boston Red Sox.
I agree. I agree
Yeah,
100%. What's the biggest name that they got this offseason too?
they had the pitcher Crochet, but also Alex Bregman. I know they had we'll talk. Do you remember Eric? What they when they were going into their little drama
Yep.
earlier on? So, what do you think as far as with the little drama that they had? Do you think that they're going to succeed this year?
I mean, I think based off what you were saying that they had because he's third baseman,
Mhm.
Yeah.
they had the worst like defensive type endeavors. Like he was the worst like third baseman is what you were saying. So I mean,
hmm
I think the head coach Alex Cora, which used to be in the Astros, right?
Yep.
I think he's gonna make the right decision, and I think he's good enough to figure it out. But I think it's a no brainer that you got a guy in that position because obviously they lack something.
100%.
Didn't so Bregman came from the Astros, Rob?
No, no, yeah, Bregman came from the Astros, and you know how at first Devers was like, so I don't play any other position. I'm third base, right? Later, give him a couple weeks, and he's like, okay, maybe I'm not the best third baseman on this team, you know?
It's like, well, he's gonna hurt your team if he stays like that. You got to help
Yeah.
your team out, bro.
So one guy has a Gold Glove, one guy doesn't. One guy's the worst defensive. It's like I don't know what language you have to speak to him, but he
Yeah,
got it.
but the Red Sox also got a really good guy from the White Sox, Rob. Garrett Crochet.
Yep.
What do you think
Yep.
about him?
He was solid last year. I will see if he's able to have the like back-to-back years of being like a starting pitcher because he did like, and that's where you always, and unfortunately you always have to worry about pitchers is their arm problems.
Yep.
So we'll see because he was a relief pitcher that ended up being a starting pitcher last year, and then so extending him to be able to like the strain on his arm. I hope he does. He's a good, exciting pitcher. They also picked up not only Crochet. Like I said, Crochet has a solid pitcher. Walker Bueller from the Dodgers. So,
Oh,
and
okay.
yeah, and they also have Lucas Giolito. I know last year he had an injury, so they do have three top of the like end like names
Mhm.
with also Brian Bello. So I mean they have a pretty good pitching staff that I would say that will end up making it happen. They're going to be, in my opinion, the second best team in that division.
Yep,
Um,
exactly.
yeah, so
I have them at like 72% chance of making the playoffs. Because, yeah, for sure, I expect them to be second in this division. But to make the playoffs, I think they have a really good chance to make the playoffs.
yep,
And then your rival,
yeah. Eric, what
the
do you think
number
about
one.
number one? What do you think about the Yankees?
I think I had the same take as I did in the other one. It's like who if you're making big moves, then the expectation is you win your division.
Yep. All the money that the Yankees were trying to bid for Soto, I like what they did. They broke it up into small, little different money to add and make their team better. Picking up Max Fried and Cody Bellinger, ex-Dodger.
Bellinger. That's
Yeah.
right.
So
Max Fried to an 8-year deal, though. I thought that was a little crazy. A lot of people were talking about that.
yeah, I mean it is a lot from him. Like coming, like he's a solid pitcher, but 8 years to a lot. Any pitcher is a lot of commitment.
Yep. Yep. Do you think the Yankees can rival your Dodgers to getting close to 100 wins?
They'll like they're in a tough division, like you say, but I really like. Well, they traded for Devin Williams, and so they not only did they pick up those free agents, they ended up trading for one of the best relievers in baseball. It was funny because I know they were talking about how they changed the beard rule or whatever. Devin
Yes.
Williams used to have the big. You should see his picture of it. He used to have the biggest beard, right? And now he had to shave it. It's always funny how some players look once they change that.
Yep. So Eric will be following that beard tradition now with the
Yeah.
Yankees.
Yep.
Well, he's got the mustache. He's known for his mustache here, not for the beard.
Yeah. So I think you and I, Rob, in this division, I think we agree. Like Yankees number one, Red Sox number two, Orioles number three, Blue Jays four, and like Tampa Bay Rays like last in this division.
Yeah.
You
I
agree
I
with that?
I would say the Yankees are maybe a rematch. We get another rematch because they did end up picking up Paul Goldschmidt as well.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, that guy's good.
Paul Goldschmidt is so it's an upgrade from Anthony Rizzo. Not only like you said defensive wise, maybe they saw the errors they made in the World Series last time, letting a World Series slip through their hands. Um,
Literally,
literally. So
literally.
now we have every year a New Year's ball drop. Just go to Aaron Judge's ball drop in the fifth inning. So
Yep.
Hey,
the
Rob,
biggest one of them all. What happened?
hey, looking. I know this is like looking ahead, but I mean, kind of looking at all the moves made in the offseason and everything. You know, is it a little premature to say that we could be looking at the same, World Series again? Like if we're gonna make these crazy predictions at the beginning of the year, is it crazy to say we could have, a repeat of the World Series?
Yeah, but I know we don't want to tease into next week. Next week we're gonna go into basically predicting maybe who wins the divisions. We'll finalize that. We'll finalize who wins the divisions, who's gonna maybe be the home run leader or MVP, and then the Cy Young. So we'll go into it next year, and then maybe who's the
But
World Series.
but compared to like every other seasons in the past, like for the chance for a repeat teams in the World Series, I think is higher compared to past seasons. Don't you think, Rob?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I really don't put with the moves that the Yankees made. They they definitely put themselves in a position to rematch that game, and we'll see because the Dodgers just made just as many moves. So
That's true.
I think that it's always going to make baseball better when you have the Yankees and Dodgers in the World Series. Like everyone tunes in regardless. I understand we want parity, we want other teams to win, but when you have the Yankees and Dodgers in the World Series,
It's the
everyone wants to watch.
East Coast versus West Coast.
Yeah. My thing is, if my sleeper team, and I've said it for the last few weeks,
Mm.
if the Mariners can get their fucking shit together, I see them being a team. I literally that's the type of team that can make it in the World Series, and literally like they just need one or two different pieces, and if they can make it happen, that's my sleeper. I'm not.
'Cause
I know I moved to Washington. I'm not a Mariners fan. Obviously,
you know,
I'm a Doyer fan.
you know what
But
I will say, Rob? If the
yeah,
Mariners make it to the World Series, I will get a Mariners tattoo on my body.
all right, we got it stamped here. We got it. We're gonna
Yep.
take it.
I'm
All
not
right.
saying they win the World Series. If they just make it to the World Series,
Damn, I influenced you into a tattoo. Fuck it,
I will
let's
get a
do it.
Mariners tattoo on my body. So
Eric
we're
too. Eric's got you too.
I don't know if they'd be the first tattoo I'd ever get, but
that probably wouldn't be.
Yeah.
Mariana would not like that, Eric.
no, I mean I gotta do enough convincing just to do like a Chivas tattoo. Now a Mariners tattoo.
Shit, he's got to ask permission to what he's eating for dinner, but I'm kidding.
Oh, Eric, wait, that's a good tip that Eric just brought up, Rob.
Which one?
A lot of us cousins have Chivas tattoos. Eddie has one, Gabby has one, Carlos has one. I'm about to get one.
Doesn't France
So
have one?
France has one. So you see, a lot of us cousins have Chivas tattoos, Rob.
Shit, I need to be a Morales to be to get a tattoo, I guess. But
No, it's okay. It's
yeah,
okay. Si eres parte del rebaño sagrado, I know I've seen some badass tattoos of like La Porra down there in Guadalajara.
yeah.
They got some badass ones down there.
Well, Eric's missing. Let's see Eric get one first before I do. But I know that kind of wraps up the baseball. Like I said, next week we'll kind of go into a little bit, maybe predictions of some Cy Young or who MVP. We'll go into that, but I know this next segment I'll let Fabian introduce.
Yeah, I mean, this is a segment that we've been doing pretty consistently where we choose our Mexican of the week and our Fresa of the week. And I'll start with the Fresa of the week and then I'll let Eric take over the Mexican of the week. But I'm giving the Fresa of the week to the coach slash director técnico of Canada. His name is Jesse Marsh. He's not Canadian, by the way, Rob. He's American. He used to play for the U.S. national team.
American.
America. This past game, I think, yeah, it was the one, the U.S. versus Canada game. In like the second half, I think he ended up getting a red card because he thought there was a PK that the ref, which the ref was a girl, by the way. He was like talking smack to the ref because he wanted one of the PK calls. But if you look at the replay, it never was a PK. The Canada guy like slipped by himself. So there was no reason for him to start like yelling and saying negative things to the ref, which she was a Mexican ref too. Her name is Katia Itzel Garcia. That, probably heard something that he said and she busted out the red card and said, "Mejor vete a bañar, guy. We don't need, some negative comments on the field like this." So, press out of the week to that
Yeah,
guy.
Coach Marsh. You know what happens when you think, you think you farted, but you actually just shit yourself,
That's
and you
right.
just basically just got yourself out of that game. So, Fresa of the week, we'll vote on that one. We agree. Uh, Eric, let's lead us into the obvious Mexican of the week.
Yeah, so Mexican of the week we have the hottest striker in the selección right now, which is Raúl Jimenez. 4 goals in 2 games. He's the guy we've been looking for. We've lacked that tenacity and that killer mentality up top, and he seems to be peaking at the right moment with the World Cup creeping up.
Yeah, I know that we're all happy to have him being at performance after that injury. Getting back to form. I know Fabian has some stats or some fun facts to say.
Always,
I know,
always.
but I know that he has a little sour taste in his mouth for this one. But let's go into it, Fabian.
So Raul Jimenez ends up being in the third time maximum goal scorer for La Selección. He's the third. He passed Guau, where
Hmm.
Guau had 38 goals, and now Raul has
Amok?
39. Guatemoc, our favorite, guy that we
Guatemala
brought
Cup.
up, right?
Guatemala Cup.
Legend. But the controversy here is that FIFA has Raul Jimenez at 39 goals, and the Mexican Federation has Raul Jimenez at 40 goals. So there's a little debate right there because I was telling Eric too, they didn't give Raul Jimenez one of the goals in the past, like maybe in 2021 or 2022 in the Gold Cup, where like he scored a goal against Martinica or something, but they didn't give it to him. So the Mexican Federation's like, no, that was a Raul Jimenez goal. So that's why the Mexicans have him at 40, but FIFA has him at 39. Either way, he's still in the third rankings, right behind Borghetti. Borghetti has 46 goals. And then our Chicharito is the number one right now at 52 goals. So what do you think about those goals, Eric, where he's at? Do you think he'll be able to catch Chicharito?
I mean, I think he's got a good chance to, just because I think he's at the prime of his career, and if Santi doesn't step up and there's no one else behind Santi, I mean, you gotta try to juice out whatever you can from Raúl Jiménez. And the big thing is like the competition we play sometimes, and the fact that those goals count. That's the tough part. But even if he passes him, you can never compare and say that he had the same impact as Chicharito. So he might pass him on goals, but in terms of overall talent and as a career and what they did for club and country, they'll never come, like Raúl Jiménez will never come near Chicharito as much as America and Televisa wants to push it. So he could pass him in goals, but like I said, in terms of effectiveness, like I'm at peace that Chicharito is the all time.
Yeah, Eric, Fabian, and I were talking about it earlier. Is that there was that conflict that Chicharito had with the selección, why they didn't call him up. So
Yeah,
we all
exactly.
know that we all know that he should have had more goals. There was more goals left on the table. We all know he's the number one for us, like where we expect him. But just the form and like you said, just Raúl Jiménez just showing up. We'll take it. I know we'll try to separate the America and all that,
Mm-hmm.
but let's just have that pride for to give them the Mexican of the week. So yeah,
Exactly.
we're all on board. Let's go. Let's keep that consistency for the World Cup. So
Let's get it. Let's get it,
yeah,
Raul. Keep doing it. Keep doing what you're
yeah.
doing.
So I'll let Eric introduce his next segment. So
Yeah, so just keep on with the consistency of our little Mount Rushmores that we're swapping up every week, and we kind of had a conversation about maybe they don't have to be so much sports related every single week. So just to kind of lighten up and get more engagement, this week we're gonna do our Mount Rushmore of our favorite Mexican foods. So
How do you guys want to do it? Rob, you go first. Eric go second, and I go
no,
third.
hot pop record for scissors. No, you go first. How about you go first, Fabian? You can go ahead.
I'll go
Dang.
third just because since I'm in the industry, I feel like I have a little bit more insight and stuff. So if you want, I'll go last.
Yeah, true. That's true. So I'll go
Yeah.
first. Rob, you go second.
All
Eric goes
right, let's
third.
go. We're
And
ready.
my favorite food, like if one of my friends were to ask me, like, what's your favorite Mexican food? Because I'm Mexican, right? So they always want to know from the where the country you're from, what your favorite dish is. And I always say ceviche is my number one.
Damn, you took
You
one.
can't.
Damn, hey, you took one of my. You took one of my late. I didn't think you were gonna get to it that early. Okay.
Well, that's why I'm saying it's my number
Uh,
one. You
all
can make
right, all
so
right,
many types of ceviches. You can make
all right.
pulpo ceviche, camarón ceviche, pescado ceviche. Like I love all of that, and because it's so fresh, Also, it's like healthy for you, but it tastes amazing. Give me ceviche every single day, bro. Give me
All
it every
right,
day.
I like it. I'm gonna bank that someone doesn't take this one and for the next one, because there's this one is a staple of any backyard Mexican barbecue with your cousins, with your
Yeah,
tios. Everyone knows when that grill. You better have that carne asada on that. So
that's.
mine is gonna be the carne asada. I'll take that as my Mount Rushmore number one.
I like it.
I like that. For me, just because I don't want anyone else to take it. It's not my 1-1, but I'm gonna take it now, so no one takes it in the next rounds. But I'm gonna do a nice aguachile.
Ooh, all right, all right. You stuck with the with the seafood. I'll
With
take
the
it.
seafood, but that's
So
Yeah.
still
so
aguachile is different than ceviche, though, Rob.
all right, all right. So we'll take that as the first round. Who's going next?
Me, it goes back to me. So you already took carne asada, which was gonna be my next one. So I'm gonna have to go with some good old fashioned enchiladas. You can make enchiladas so many different ways with the sweet sauce or with some good red sauce, and then have some rice and beans on the side. You can make enchiladas with chicken or meat or beef. So for me, I'm taking enchiladas as my second one.
All right, good. You didn't take the one that I really was hoping for, because the one that I was hoping for, and I know everyone gets tired of them around the seasonal time. I know everyone has to get their hands ready and back breaking work. You guys already have an idea of what I'm talking about. We're bringing out the big guns. We're taking tamales, number two. What's up?
Bro, I just had some tamales this weekend too, bro.
Number
And
two, you guys are letting me stack up a list, bro.
dude,
I'll let you guys take whatever, but now my number two, top
ca-
two,
carne
game,
and tamales.
bro. Seasonal and the barbecue. I think I'm winning already.
Damn.
Yeah, that's a good one. For me, one of my favorite dishes of all time, and it's a staple dish of where we're all from. I'm gonna take birria.
Damn, the quinceañera parties fucking
Heck
always be
yeah.
hitting with them. Damn, why do you have to take?
Heck yeah.
That's a good one, Eric. That's a good one.
Dude, add some homemade tortillas to that birria.
Sheesh.
Cebolla, limoncito.
Damn, bro. I forget about that one. See, good little pickup on that one.
Dude, how are we forgetting my next pick, dude? I'm gonna take tacos, all sorts of tacos.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
that's the
take
basic.
nah, nah. Even if they're
Hey,
basic, dude,
that's like white girl basic, very vanilla.
doesn't
Yeah,
matter. It doesn't matter because I anybody and everybody could eat 20 tacos, no problem. You could get tacos de adobada. You can get carne asada tacos. You can get tacos de
buche de
cabeza.
lengua. Yeah, de lengua
Uh,
todo.
the lingo ones we gotta hold off on those a little bit because
I
that's
fuck
that's
with them.
not
I fuck with them.
Come
that's
on, bro.
that's that's one where I'll give you
Taco
guys.
Lengua might be one for one all time.
I know
All
that's
right.
where my Mexican card gets revoked.
Yeah, we I didn't know we had a white guy doing the list right now, Fabian. But you know what?
I don't care.
I think that's why Eric and we're coming back with some of the bangers.
I don't care, bro. I don't
Hey,
care.
so that's your number three. That
That's
is
my
a
number
solid
three.
He's being a whitezican right now.
white chicken.
I
Fuck it.
don't. Nah, it's all good, bro. I can't leave them off.
You're taking a lot of tortillas. You just want to just plump up, don't you?
That's right, like a
You
white
know?
guy. That's right.
Yep, yep. If I was to ask 10 white guys what their favorite food, they're gonna say Mexican food. They're gonna say tacos. So,
That's right.
but you ask a Mexican, we're gonna come up with a different answer. So, next one for me. Oh, everything that just takes a lot of effort. Everything that takes a lot of effort always is gonna be nice. So, as you could see, and I know that with you with experience, Eric, this is one of my favorites. Is a chile relleno. So
Oh yeah, I
that
had you
again
just I had that.
with Quaresma coming up, we all know that's one of the ones that's a staple for sure with
Bro,
Quaresma.
Sure.
chile rellenos are hard to make, like Eric knows, for example. So
Yeah,
if you can make a good chile relleno, that's pretty hard to beat.
For
yep.
sure.
So that's my number three.
I like it. All right, Eric.
My number three, kind of staying in the realm of staple dishes of where all our family is from and stuff like that. To me, like in a good winter time, a good carnita en su jugo, o sea, always hits that spot.
Yup, yup, that's a solid one. All right, you guys haven't taken any. I don't know if I want to give you guys a hint on what my last round might be, or do you guys already have yours filled out?
No,
Because
I give me your hint.
all right, my hint: we haven't gone into any of the staple sopas or like any of that. I'm not.
So
I almost because I don't know if I wanted to just group one together, but I'll let you guys just to give you a hint of my next pick is gonna be one of these.
I mean,
So
I
I'll
have
let
one
you
in my
go
back
next.
pocket, so.
I already know, but go ahead, Fabian.
I mean, now that you said that, I'm debating in my head now because it's for me. My last pick is between a torta or
Oh shit, like Comal over here.
We're talking about
or
food.
no, man. I mean, you can't go wrong with like a torta ahogada, for example, man. You can't go wrong with that. I'm not talking about the tortas that you're thinking of, Rob. Okay, I'm not talking about
Not the ones
those.
that you left in Colorado.
Nah, bro. No, don't disrespect the females like that in Colorado. Okay, don't disrespect them, bro. Hacer
Everyone
torta,
needs
man.
love, and I guess,
They,
Fabian,
they,
everyone needs
they,
love.
they give you heat. They give you heat in the winter, and they give you shade in the summer, Rob. So
And they give you food, I guess, because
they give you
whatever they're
food.
saying, they for you, did they eat your seconds or what?
Nah, no, tampoco, tampoco. No, no,
All
no,
right, all right.
no.
Well, so you're saying
I
tortas is your
I'm
last
gonna
one?
take torta, but yeah, I was gonna. It was debating between pozole and torta, but I'm gonna go with torta just because I could make a good torta, Rob. You know, cut up some fresh avocado, get some fresh lettuce, tomato, put the bun on the grill a little bit. Come over,
S-
Rob, and I'll
s-
make you a good torta.
Man, see, I can make all the things that you basically said, a taco, the enchiladas. Those are all
And
basics that we can make. I feel our mom should have
well,
left, but I'm just bringing out the ones that take their time, the ones that make sure. I was in a debate between pozole and albondigas,
oh
so
man,
I don't know which one to pick, but I'm gonna go off my personal
yeah,
favorite because sometimes pozole, you could get tired of that. You know, always the tias. There's one tia that's always going to be making it.
true.
So I'm going to go with my mom's always made the best albondigas. So I'm going to go with albondigas as my last one. Even though we're leaving a lot of food out there on the table, you know, there's still a lot of stuff that we're leaving out there. But
That's true.
you know, I left out mole. I left out a couple other carnitas. Ooh, you know,
No, let's see what Eric comes up with then.
let's see what Eric's last one is.
Yeah, I think this is more of like a personal. Like I'm like a big like I eat soups only when it's cold, so it's hard for me to kind of put it as my top four because it's like it's one of those things that it's just like I if it's not in the winter, I don't really get near soups. But let's see for my fourth. God, there's so many. For my fourth, I'm gonna have to take. Fuck, I'm gonna have to do just traditional carnitas, dude. Cause o sea, it was between carnitas or una mojarra frita. So, but I'm a throw in the I'm gonna throw in the carnitas in there just cause you can't beat some fucking carnitas, salsita, limoncito. So it's
So
Yeah.
another
simple
staple
but so
dish.
good.
Yep.
Uh, yeah, everyone, you guys should vote on our who's had the best Mount Rushmore. I'm gonna
But
think I ended up winning, but and everyone else,
I
we,
I had to represent for my Americans.
I had to represent for all the tias out there because they be putting in that work for all these ones that I picked.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
So no, fun segment. I liked it. We
It was
we'll be
fun.
doing
There's so much
more of
shit that's
these.
got like left off though. It's like you can't even put it into like four. So
literally.
That's so true.
Yeah, we just did our favorites, but hopefully you guys can vote on who had the best list of them all. Um, that kind of wraps up what this week's segment. I'll let I know for me, I appreciate everybody listening in. Hopefully, like I said, give your guys this feedback. I'll let Eric and Fabian just kind of finish this off.
Yeah, it
No,
was another fun episode. We'll be back again later this week.
yeah, guys. Go ahead and follow us on Spotify, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at Los Fantasy Cuz. And like what Rob was saying, go on there and give us some comments, give us some reviews about everything we talked about today, and let us know how we're doing so we could always make this podcast more fun and more caliente.
Yeah, make sure you leave in the comments your guys' Mount Rushmore Mexican
That's
food.
right.
For
That's
sure.
right. All right, you guys. Have a good one, guys.
Yep, later.
Peace.